a beautiful brand new day, and we are here in the studios of Ghana Web for this episode of the Friday's debate here on Ghana Web TV. Hooliganism has been a canker in Ghana football, and today we're asking the big question: who do we blame for the country's inability to eradicate this from our football? Do we blame the Football Association, the clubs, or the fans who have been abusing fans, opposing fans, referees, and other officials? Join me today with my guests as we talk about this issue. You can join the conversation by stating yours in the comment section. But we'll go for a quick break. When we return, we start the debate. And the UEFA Champions League was also on. The Chelsea fans are singing that this is the time for them to win their second trophy. My name is Joel Leshend, and when we return from the break, we start the analysis. Welcome back from the break. It is still the Friday's debate here on Ghana Web TV. On this week's episode, we're talking about hooliganism in Ghana football. Who do we blame for our inability to eradicate this from our football? Do we blame the Football Association, the clubs, or the fans who have been doing this despicable act? Join the conversation by telling us your comment in the comment section after watching the video. I have with me two gentlemen, Jones and James Ohiniba Makion, who are going to do the debate. Who do we blame? Are we blaming the clubs, the Football Association, or the fans? But before we start the debate, we're talking about the UEFA Champions League quarter-final results. Yesterday, Chelsea fans, including myself, were very happy after beating Porto by 2-0. Good morning, guys, and thanks for joining me here on this episode of the Friday's debate. All right, so James, as an Arsenal fan, how are you feeling knowing that your city rivals are on their way to win their second Champions League trophy?
Time will tell whether Chelsea will be able to win their second Champions League trophy. But as an Arsenal fan, I think it's getting normal. Yeah, it's getting normal. For the past 5 or 4 seasons, Arsenal haven't been able to qualify to the Champions League. And it's something that you are getting used to. Gone are the days where Arsenal consecutively qualified to the Champions League, I think for 22 times consecutively, yes. So going out of the Champions League and playing Europa at the first instance was something I can't explain it, but then now it's getting normal. It's getting normal. Yeah, it's getting normal.
I feel for you. So I was saying that we are on our way to win our second Champions League trophy because, come on, the signs are all over. It's possible. Yes. And the second goal of in yesterday's game, Summit, you saw the goal Fernando Torres scored against Barca in the semi-final. Took on the goalkeeper, and it's possible we are meeting a Spanish opposition in the semi-final once again.
Yeah, these are all permutations that have been happening, but that does not guarantee that automatically Chelsea would win the Champions League. There are lots of factors that will lead to that, and Chelsea as a team has to work on a lot of things before they can achieve that dream. Yes, it's all part of football. These permutations and calculations, history and all these things are part, but then it doesn't guarantee that you are going to win the Champions League. There are more work to it. Joe, you know that, right?
All right, so let me pause with you, then speak to my fellow Blue Man. Jones, how are you feeling this morning knowing that we are on our way to winning our second Champions League trophy? Hello, Jones. Hello, Jones. So we will get back to Jones. But, James, any surprises from the games that we saw from the first leg in the quarterfinals?
I wouldn't say any surprises for the PSG and Bayern game. For me as a neutral fan, I was expecting to learn a lot, to have fun, and also to see how the two coaches will pan out and um, bring out their tactics for their respective teams. In the last Champions League final, we saw PSG and Bayern Munich playing in that game, and we saw Bayern Munich tactically winning that game. PSG in that game had their chances, but they weren't able to utilize it. But yet in yesterday's game, we saw it fast track, fast forward. We saw PSG doing something better than what they did in the final. They utilized their chances, scored in the first 3 or 4 minutes. Then whenever they had the chance, they scored. Bayern Munich obviously dominated the game for a number of times. They wanted to equalize. Yes, they equalized at a point in time, but then um, PSG also scored for the scores to be 3-2. And for me, I think it's not a surprise. And for Chelsea, I'll say it's not a surprise. Yes, though they lost to West Bromwich Albion with 5-2, I knew that yes, they will come back stronger with the caliber of coach they have in Thomas Tuchel. I knew that he will go back to the drawing board, strike up his boys, tell them what to do on the pitch. I know that definitely they forced FC Porto play, and for me, it wasn't a surprise for me that Chelsea won 2-0 in the backyard of FC Porto. So let's see what the second one has for us.
You were not surprised with the results we had yesterday. But let me speak to you, Jones. If you can hear me, I was asking you how you are feeling this morning, knowing that your team is about to win their second Champions League trophy.
Please, please come again.
Jones, I was saying that as a Chelsea fan, how do you feel this morning knowing that you are on your way to get your second Champions League trophy?
Okay. Well, I must say thank you for having me today. And well, I'm not a Chelsea fan. But for Chelsea fans, I believe would be happy. But I don't think they have the fortitude to win the Champions League. Okay, it's going to be tough. There's PSG there. There's Real Madrid, and you know Real Madrid. Real Madrid won't come this far
We are going
and
to
then
eliminate them
go
hands
back.
down.
So I beg to differ. I don't think Chelsea can take this trophy. Yeah.
All right. So enough of the Chelsea things. Now let's talk about the results
Yeah.
we had in the first leg for the quarterfinals. On Wednesday, Liverpool lost to Madrid. Borussia Dortmund lost to Manchester City. That was on Tuesday. Were you surprised by any of the results we had on that day?
Not at all. I was just actually a bit surprised with the ref's performance. The referee's performance in the Man City game was below par because some of the decisions he took or he made really affected Dortmund. But overall, I quite expected Madrid to beat Liverpool, and then I expected City to win. But maybe Dortmund could have salvaged a draw there, but the referee's decision, could not actually favor Dortmund.
We've seen the first league games. We saw the way Liverpool played. In terms of percentage and who can make it to the semi-finals, between Madrid, who has a 2-goal lead, and Liverpool, who do you think is likely to make it to the semi-finals?
Oh, I know everyone is currently thinking that okay, Liverpool can come back. They might
The
be
power
a
of
surprise.
Anfield.
We've seen that before, but this Liverpool team is different, and this Madrid team is hungry. I say hungry because it's been a while they've actually won a trophy. So I think Madrid would come out strong. I wouldn't be surprised if Madrid still beats Liverpool at their backyard.
All right, so in terms of percentage, how are you going to rate it?
Okay.
For Madrid?
Okay. Yeah, I would give Madrid a 60%, and Liverpool 40%.
All right. Borussia Dortmund got a crucial away goal against Man City. The return leg coming on at the Signal Iduna Park in Germany. In terms of percentage, who is going to make it?
Well, it's going to be very difficult for Man City, I must say Dortmund, because Man City has a very organized defense, but Man City will have the upper hand slightly, 55-45, slightly 55-45. Man City will have the upper hand slightly.
All right. So
with an experienced coach, yes. With an experienced coach like Pep Guardiola, they would have the upper hand slightly.
All right. So let me move to you, James. The first leg, we saw it at the Allianz Arena in Germany. Bayern, with the absence of Lewandowski, lost to PSG by 3-2. 3 crucial away goals ahead of the second leg in Parc des Princes. Can Bayern overturn the scoreline and make it to the semi-finals, James?
Yes, you made a point of Robert Lewandowski not featuring in this game. Bayern Munich, if you have watched them this season, every team that they play against, that team gets a chance to score a goal. If you don't score a goal, they'll get the chance and they will score you. And that's what PSG did perfectly yesterday. They had a chance and they scored. Now going into the second leg of the season, I think it's still a tough one. The team that's supposed to qualify, I think it will be decided in Parc des Princes. Yes, though PSG has scored 3 goals, I think Bayern can pull a surprise. Yesterday you saw the game. Bayern were dominating. They created the chances, but then they weren't able to score. So I think that it will be very difficult. So let's wait for the game at Parc des Princes.
And were you impressed with the performance of PSG? Because even though they won, personally, I wasn't impressed because I felt like they could have scored more if they applied some level of seriousness, especially with Neymar and Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah. They started the game very well. They started well. They had the chances and they utilized it very well. After they've scored, they went back to sleep. Per the performance, PSG did not live out. They did not play up to par. They were very below par. If Bayern had pushed a little bit harder, they would have equalized that goal. And for me, that's the main factor or the main reason why I'm saying that the game will be decided in Parc des Princes because PSG didn't play up to expectation, though they won the game.
And the game between Chelsea and Porto, is this a done deal?
Yeah, I would say it's a done deal. For Chelsea to go and get 2-0 in Portugal, I think it's a done deal. If it was supposed to be 1-0, I would say maybe Porto has a slight chance. But for it to be 2-0, I think Chelsea it's a done deal, especially when Thomas Tuchel is not conceding. Though they are not scoring that much in the English Premier League. They are not conceding that much, and I think it's going to be very difficult for Porto to come back.
They conceded 5 against, but they conceded 5 against struggling West Brom.
That's an exception. Apart from the West Brom game, all the games that Chelsea have played, they've not conceded that much. Apart from Thiago Silva getting that card, I think that one was the crucial point in the game. Then bringing in Christiansen, I think some changes that Thomas Tuchel made caused them in that game. Apart from that, Chelsea haven't been conceding that goals. And for them to have a 2-0 lead in Portugal, it will be very difficult for Porto to come to the Stamford Bridge and get all the maximum points and qualify to the next round.
All right, so Chelsea fans have a popular saying that we don't do comebacks in Stamford Bridge. So let's see what happens next week when the return leg of the quarterfinal stage of the UEFA Champions League comes on. But don't forget that Thursday night football, United and Arsenal are in action in the UEFA Europa League. This is still the Friday's debate here on Ghana Web TV. Today we're talking about hooliganism in football, but we had to discuss the results from the quarterfinal phase of the UEFA Champions League. We go for a quick break. When we return, the debate starts. to start the debate. But let me ask you, James. I know you also do commentary. Have you been harassed at the stadium before?
Yeah, I found my way around it some way somehow. Yes, I found my way around it some way somehow, but the incidents haven't happened to me before. Yeah.
Okay. Jones, do
Yeah.
you have any experience about bullying at the stadium?
Actually, not that much. Just last year, I refereed a game between my mate and my other another team. So
Komo
I was
Boana.
asked to be the referee, and then it ended brutally. It's actually ended brutally because but that was just my experience with hooliganism. Yeah.
Okay, so before we
So,
start, let me tell you this. I have an experience. I think in 2018, I was doing a commentary for a game involving Kotoko and another club. I don't want to mention the club's name. It's an away game. Then I remember it was Sonny Yakuba scored the goal. So I shouted, okay, Emmanuel Jemfi finds Sonny Yakuba. And Yakuba, so I shouted go. Then someone just stabbed me. Masa. So should see him go. Na mambo asum. So I just had to be quiet. Senebeya will be ambo masum. Yeah. So today I want to ask you issues about hooliganism and what we saw last week in Wamanafo. Who do we blame for our inability to eradicate this from our game? Do we blame the FA or the clubs? Let me start with you, James.
Yeah, Joe, I think that all of us have a role to play in eradicating, or I think it's lowering the rate of hooliganism in our game. But I think that the main actors or the main people who have a positivity in eradicating this hooliganism is the GFA. Why do I say that? Because the Ghana Premier League or whatever league we are playing in Ghana is a product of the GFA.
Yeah.
They are the custodians of the game, and every rules and every regulation that concerns the game comes from the GFA. If someone is to do something bad in relation to hooliganism in football, it's the GFA that is supposed to be punished. Remember, the GFA is autonomous, so every decision that they take is based on their own powers, based on their own rules, based on their own regulations. So I think that in a way we should blame the GFA. Yes, they have done their best in solving the issue, but for me, I think that it's not the best. This is because
How
the
did they solve the
sanctions or
issue?
sometimes the punishment with teams. Joe,
You said they've done their best in solving the issue. How did they solve the issue? Because it keeps coming
yes,
year in, year in.
yes, yes. That's the point I'm driving at. I'm trying to say that yes, they are doing their best in solving the issue, but the punishment and the sanctions they are giving is not helping hooliganism to stop right now or in any time soon. This is because the only punishment they give is banning the home fans from coming to the stadium or banning them for playing their stadium. These punishments will not stop hooliganism happening in our football. The sanctions should be something stricter, something more, something that will take something from the home team or any person who is involved in the hooliganism. I think the GFA must do more when it comes to hooliganism.
Okay, so let me come to you. Let me come to you, Jones. From
yeah.
Makion's perspective, we should blame the FA for not being proactive towards issues like that. Who do you think should take the blame for this particular act?
All right. So it's the clubs, okay, Joe. It's basically the clubs. You look at everything. As he said, the GFA is doing their possible best, putting things in place to make sure that these things don't happen. Now I want us to look at this. I remember in 2014, Che Ando, I don't know if you remember that story, around March. 21 years old, he was 21 years old, so young, energetic. He went to officiate a third tier game, and then at the end of the game, he was beaten. He came back home and he died. he died. And are you going to blame TFA for this? No. You look at the clubs. We have to control our emotions. Sometimes it seems that, oh yes, you've been cheated, but it is left with the clubs to um, educate the fans. Control your emotions. Even some of the players as well. You have to understand that this is professional football. We are not playing, excuse me to say, house to house football. No, this is professional. So you have to learn how to control yourself and then be able to understand that you've lost or this decision went against you. And so with that, then you'll be able to say that, oh, okay, we are moving forward. But basically, it's the clubs, it's been bad. Not at all.
Yeah, Jones made a point about um, hooliganism. Basically, we should blame. The point is we should blame the
The
clubs.
class.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay, so
Can't hear you.
before James comes back, Jones, I have a question here from
Yeah.
What?
Ibrahim. I have a question here from Ibrahim.
Okay.
And Ibrahim says
Yeah.
that you cannot blame either the clubs.
Williams' point I want to make is
Okay,
make up the GFA.
all right, let me
Who make
listen
up
to
the
you,
GFA?
James.
Yeah, you continue with it. Continue with your question.
Okay, so for Ibrahim, he partially blames the GFA, but he says that it is the state's duty to punish offenders because to him it's like if you slap somebody on the street, you can be arrested.
Yeah.
But if you slap
Well,
Okay, so I'm coming. So he's saying that if you slap somebody on the street, you can be arrested. But if you do the same at the stadium, we take it like, oh, it's passion, normal. Then at the end of the day, we punish the venue. Then we leave the people who have been performing the art. So at the end of the day, we stop Wamanafo from playing football at their home grounds, but the same fans can follow the team anywhere they go and still beat referees.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I get that. So as he said, it's you can slap someone and then they will be like, what it is, what an
Passion.
offense. Well, GFA has been given the mandate to regulate all football activities. Okay, so if our fighting or our violence comes from football, it is under GFA. Now I want you to I quite remember when I was in the Volta region, Mando Heart of Lions. I think that was 2015. Yes, 2015. There was a match, and then the Bankola, I've forgotten this, Randy Abbey.
Yeah.
So actually, Brekum Chelsea came, and Brekum Chelsea had won, and allegedly the referee had cheated or had been biased. So the fans were angry. They wanted to pounce on the referee. Do you know what Randy Abe did? He walked to the fans. He begged them and asked them, please come and beat me. Do you know why? Because he knows that what this is the long-lasting effect is going to be against the clubs, as you said. So it is time our club managers talk to the fans that look, if you do this, it is affecting us. We have to pay for transportation
For
to go to
fine and
another
all
venue
that.
to play. Are you getting me?
Yeah, I get
So
you.
what I'm trying to say is that yes, it is what Randy Abe did, and actually it took the fans. They were surprised to see that their bankroller himself was begging them to beat him because he knew that the effect was going to be on the club, not on the fans, because they would just eventually ban the stadium and then they would have to go, as you guys said. So it is left with the club managers to talk to the fans, let them know that you guys, I know you are paid, but with what has happened has happened. The results can't change. So what do? Let's just be calm. We go another day. Yeah.
Okay, so James, let me come to you. It seems that Jones has already made his point that for him, it's
Yeah,
the
sure.
clubs who are supposed to take this responsibility. And I kind of side with him because I think one of the ex-referees said that he went to a venue and the fans wanted to come at him, but the club officials decided to intervene. Then they spoke to the fans, and at the end of the day, he was able to go scot-free. So for him, he believes that every referee who is beaten by fans, the fans were incited by the management to do that. So why do you blame the GFA?
Yeah, the points you guys have made are very true, but I still stand by my point that it's the GFA. You see, I made mention of some points that the GFA is made up of many entities. The GFA is made up of club administrators. If you go to the committees, they are all made up of club people. Even under the GFA, we have referees committee. Then if you go to the hierarchy of GFA, you have the president, vice president, general secretary. The GFA as an entity, all of them have a responsibility to help in putting out hooliganism in our game. Now, the reason why I'm saying all of this is because, one, as a referee, you are part of the GFA. Now, in the books of GFA, when you go to a match venue and as a referee, you realize that the security there is not enough for the game to go on, don't start the game. As an entity of GFA, don't start the game because your life will be at risk. So that's another point I'm saying is the GFA. Secondly,
Will be
the
at risk
sanctions
when
that are given to clubs that go against the GFA principle, GFA rules when it comes to hooliganism. They are very, how do I say, they are very minute. You made a point of when a club is banned from playing at its home ground, they take transportation and go to another stadium where a game is being played and they go and perform the same acts. Now, for me, I think that personally, if a team is involved in hooliganism, 6 points should be deducted. There's nothing that hurts more than deducting a point of a team. This thing is very obvious in football. When you deduct a point of a team or some points from a team, they become very alert and do the right thing. Deduct 6 points from any team that is involved in terrorism. And for me, personally, it's going to solve the issue. If you just ban them for not using their stadium, the same fans will go to another stadium and cause the same commotion. So for me, the best thing is deduct 6 points, stop them from coming to the stadium, let them play behind closed doors. And that's one, I think it will help reduce this
Yeah.
hooliganism in the game.
Okay, so if you just join us, this is the Friday's debate here on Ghana Web TV. But James, you made a point
Joe.
that I'll come to you shortly, Jones. You made a point that
Okay.
if you are a referee and you go to a
Joe,
match
I'm
venue and you check the environment, you can decide to not even start the game. But how will you know that
Yeah.
your life will be in danger
Yeah.
when the game has not even started?
No, you know that there are rules concerning security when it comes to various league, Ghana Premier League. Now, I don't know the actual number of security people that are supposed to be at match venues, but if you look at the GFA rules and regulations concerning games, there's supposed to be some amount of security personnel at the stadium. Now, as a referee, if you approach the match commissioner and this number of security people are not there, in the rules, you cannot start the game or you can choose not to start the game. So for you to be at the safer side, you don't start the game when you know that this number of security personnel are not in the stadium. And as you said, you don't know whether your life will be at stake. So to be on the right side, just talk with the match commissioner and just don't start the game. And I believe that the match commissioner, knowing the rules very well, will agree with you and bring a lot of security people at the stadium. Yeah.
All right.
So it's all about knowing what your rules and your rights as a referee.
Okay, Jones, you wanted to make a
Yeah,
point.
yeah. So yeah, I wanted to say that we know the Premier League, the English Premier League is the best league in the world, as we already know. Acclaimed allegedly. So let's learn from them. Now in the English Premier League, when a fan is caught, it really happens though. But when a fan is caught doing that, maybe throwing something at a ref or at a player or even racism, you would see that it is not the club. Even the club condemns it. I get in it. The club will
Yeah.
condemn that act. The person involved is sanctioned. Okay, so we need to start asking this question: how can we get the people involved sanctioned? Imagine like 10 people will beat a referee right now, and you just find two. I get in it, and then as he said, is And with the point deduction, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. You know, it's in our system in Ghana.
That's the only reason
In our system in Ghana,
stop.
the funds don't usually add up to the finances of the club like in other big leagues. You know, in England right now, you know that Manchester United, you need your fans to support you. You need your fans to help you. But in Ghana here, come on, if sometimes they decide not to come,
No,
they're not there,
they also support
on
in
your
their own way
If they
by
are
coming
actually-
to the stadium.
Yeah.
The fans also support by going to the stadium.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. But you know, it is not consistent. It is not consistent, and truth be told, it is not a major source of income for the club. So you can't decide to deduct 6 points from the club because of someone's action, and probably that person is not even probably a fan of that club. I get in it now with what he said about the referees going there to check. I think that's right, you know, but you go to a place and then the fans are like, "Che, if you cheat us, you will see. If you cheat us, you will see." You have
So
that
when
fear
DDI
in you already. But then it's also left with the referees. It's about time they start taking their time, relaxing. I know it's not easy, but it's about time they relax, take their time, and make right decisions. Sometimes you would feel that they are too biased, and someone will tell you that they deserve it because you know it's very hard to control the emotions as humans. Yes, so I think we need to see to it that our fans are educated, very, very importantly, educated. If you know you come and fight, don't come to the stadium.
All right, so thank you very much, guys. This is how we wrap up the show. Today, we talked about hooliganism in football. Who do we blame? Do we blame the clubs, the state, or the fans? You can join in by stating your comment after watching the video in the comment section. Thank you very much, guys, Jones and James Makion, for joining me on this episode of the Fridays debate. We will come back on your screens again next week. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.